Cheers, my love.
Cheers, babe.
What are we cheersing to?
10 years.
10 years. 10 years of what?
10 year
years of
travel
playing chess?
anniversary. 10 years of being gone. 10 years of traveling, living in different places.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal. So we thought we would make a vlog entry, I guess that's what they call it, sharing insights over the last, get this, we can say decade outside of the U.S. It makes me feel old. Things we've learned, reflections, maybe talk about this cool background where we are.
We made one of these videos for our 5-year travel anniversary.
Which feels like yesterday.
We were still living in Vietnam, and we just watched that. That was really interesting. What was one of your favorite countries that you said 5 years ago?
My answer 5 years ago for favorite country was Colombia.
And that's where we live now.
And that's where we live now.
We've been here for 2 years.
Yeah. So 10 years in the making. Now we live in our favorite place in the entire world, Barichara, Colombia. It sounds corny, but I like to tell people we're living our Encanto, the movie, our Encanto life. Yeah.
One interesting thing from the video, our original travel list, we had 35 countries on it that we wanted to travel in 1 year. And we just counted last night. In 10 years, we've hit 35. So we did hit that 35 country number, but it took us 10 times as long.
Yeah.
But we've also been living in places. And so
yeah, we've definitely slowed down. And I think that's just part of maturing as you travel. And I loved this morning when we were watching. And there were so many moments of like, oh, if we only knew, right? If we only knew what we knew now, if we could go back to young Tom and Rose and be like, hold on, you'll get there kind of reflection, which I can't even imagine 10 years from now.
Yeah, we were about ready to we were pretty much forced to leave Vietnam and go back home to the U.S. For just under a year because of the pandemic, and then figure out what we were going to do next and keep going.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting too is we really wholeheartedly thought we'd be moving to Italy in 2021.
That was the plan.
We were taking Italian lessons in a small kitchen in Vietnam with an Italian teacher, like fully ready for it. And of course, COVID happened, and what were you going to say?
And instead, where did we move?
We had to move home, right, because of COVID, and then we ended up moving to Casablanca, Morocco, which is just like not even close to Italy.
I mean, it was kind of close.
I mean, yes, we didn't use Italian at all. I'm pretty stoked for where we're at, though.
Oh, I love it.
You enjoying your life here?
I love it. Yeah,
I love it.
We did 2 years in Morocco, Casablanca, Morocco. Morocco, what a cool country that was. And then the last 2 years we were in Cartagena, Colombia. Woo. Super hot. I did not enjoy my job. And so after my 2-year contract ended, we decided we looked at different countries to maybe move to, like Costa Rica, Uruguay. That was like our number one choice, even Mexico. But we decided to stay in Colombia and said, let's go back to one of our favorite places of all time, like a place I've been talking about for 10 years.
Yes.
Of all the countries I've traveled, and there are some amazing places. Where we are now, Barichara, is just, I don't know, there's something so special about it to me and to us, and I'm so happy to be here.
And, I mean, just feels surreal as we sit here on July 1st in the home that we're renting in Barichara to feel like 10 years ago, this is where the journey kind of started for us. When we packed our lives into a backpack and my parents took us to the train station in DIA where we thought we were going to only be gone 12 months, and then one of the first places, the first couple weeks we landed here, and it's just so amazing that now, full circle, a decade later, we get to be here and be with the people that we've met 10 years ago. Our Spanish teacher, our friends, they're all still here, and they're a little bit shocked that we're back and a little bit older and wiser, and I don't know, we love it here. Okay, so I'm curious. Let's have some reflection. I have some questions, but I think, we wanted to cheat and have an outside person ask us questions so that we're both
that's a big change that's happened in 5 years. Now we have AI.
Now we have AI.
So we used AI and had to come up with 10 questions?
Just 6.
6 questions. And we have not looked at them, so...
Hit it.
It says, congrats on 10 years on the road. Here are 6 questions to riff on for the blog. Number 1, the, quote, worst decision that became the best story.
That's awesome.
What's a choice that felt like a disaster in the moment, missed flight, wrong bus, sketchy hostel, but is now one of your favorite tales to tell at dinner parties? It's a good question.
All right, AI, that was a good question. Mine's kind of sad, but it's beautiful.
Go ahead.
I'll go first. I think in the moment, so small context, obviously, COVID forced us to, we had to move home from Vietnam to the U.S., back to Colorado, move in with our parents. Thank you. You're amazing. And at the time, I think we were incredibly frustrated. It felt like everything was out of our control. I know that's very privileged to say, we had a place to go. But we were very frustrated. And in hindsight, that 6 months we lived with my parents and then with his parents turned out to be some of the last that we had with my father before he got sick and passed away. And I'm so grateful for, us being kind of trapped in their house and poking their nerves and making all these small memories as grown adults living with them and forced to be in that space. Where in hindsight, I'm so grateful. But at the moment, it was it just felt so not our plan. So again, sad, but beautiful that we got to spend that time with my dad, which, bless his heart, would have been really proud of where we are now. Yeah. Caca! What about you?
Overall, and this is going way back, 9 years ago, but a bad decision after we got married in Santorini, Greece, 9 years ago, after our year-long trip around the world, we didn't have any money. We had
credit card debt.
Maybe a couple grand in cash and a decent amount of credit card debt. And instead of going home, we said, let's keep going. And so we honeymooned in Thailand, which I don't necessarily think was ever part of the plan. But then we decided to just double down, and we loved Vietnam, moved to Vietnam. So bad decision, deciding to continue traveling with no money, but was definitely the best decision, because here we are 9 years later, living in an amazing place, having traveled to 35 different countries in 10 years and meeting amazing people and communities. And I've published a book and you've published a book.
Oh my gosh, you're just wrapping it all in there. Yeah.
For sure, that was the worst decision. That was the best decision.
Oh, that was the perfect answer. Edit, done, mic drop.
Okay, number 2.
Okay.
Home in a backpack. If you had to explain home to someone who's never left their hometown, using only objects you've carried with you across all these countries, what would you show them?
I mean, a passport.
Yeah.
That seems pretty basic, but that is our golden trophy. It's our access. It has stamps. It has stickers.
Yeah, I don't love that question. Because home, I know it's corny, but for me, home is wherever we are together. But a phone or a computer to talk to friends and family at home.
I agree. I think there's this question is trying too hard to push on this romantic idea of, the things that you carry. And I think it's different. If you would have asked us 10 years ago when we were just in a, 65-liter Gregory backpack and we had minimal items, home is different now 10 years later. I mean, we travel with a lot more because everything we own moves with us, but it becomes a feeling, who you're with and how you think about things. I don't know, the stories that I write, that we write, that also becomes homey.
I think AI is assuming we're still backpacking.
Oh.
We're not. We left 10 years ago with one backpack, and in our most recent move from Cartagena to Barichara, we literally hired a moving company. And when we moved to Colombia from Morocco, we had how many? 11 suitcases?
And think what you want, judge what you want, but this is everything we own. We move with us.
We're not backpacking anymore. We're living in places for 2, 3, 4 years at a time. So
which we love.
You have things.
Okay, that question sucks. Let me ask the next one.
Okay.
Is that all right? I want to ask you.
That's
Plus,
great.
you must be parched, right?
Yep.
That's also a change, right? I no longer drink. Woohoo!
I do. I still drink.
I thought you were going to say, and I don't drink any less. That's not true. You actually do drink more.
I don't smoke cigarettes anymore.
Hey, that is a big deal. That is a huge life change. Yeah, we've learned to grow up on the road.
A year and a half cigarette free.
I'm so proud.
And how many years sober are you?
Almost 4 years sober. What's one thing you spent way too much money on that was 100% worth it, and one thing you were dead broke for that taught you more than 5-star experience could? Let's break these up. There's one thing that you spent way too much on that was 100% worth it.
I mean, just travel. And I know that's kind of a basic answer, but
Always.
All of our friends back home, hi friends, you all own houses. A lot of our friends own 2 houses, cars. We don't. Because we've spent all of our money on traveling. Yeah. Clearly, we're doing just fine. you know.
I don't know. You be the judge of that. I think we're doing all right.
But yeah, I mean, that's what we spend too much money on is travel.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you compare it to the American dream life, you know.
One of our bucket list items, ever since I've met Thomas 15 years ago, was to walk the Community Santiago. And we did that last summer, which was amazing. We did the Portuguese way, the coastal route, and we spent way too much money, right? I think if we had done this 10 years ago, we would have probably spent a lot less. But we wanted comfort. We worked really hard. This has been our bucket list item, and so we spent way too much money. We ate well. We stayed at beautiful places. We had amazing friends that we met. We spent a lot on, like, care. Like, we didn't know we needed, like, knee and foot care.
Yep.
We treated ourselves to massages, these kinds of things. So it was way too much, 100% worth it. It was amazing. And then the other option was what is one thing you were dead broke for that taught you more than a 5-star experience? So something we did like that was no money that taught us an amazing experience.
Where we've lived, the community that we've either built or were able to join, that doesn't cost any money. To have friends and a sense of community and belonging, that's for sure a 5-star experience that doesn't cost money. Costs time and effort. But
yeah, it's a different exchange of energy and dare I say an exchange of vulnerability. I think we experience this again, you know, every time that we pack up and we move to a new place, for us a new continent, every time we move a new continent, we have to start over. We have to start over making friends, figuring out who we are in that space, and that does cost, like you said, not really money, but vulnerability, energy, time. It's kind of like dating, which is a lot, but it's always worth it in the end. That is the thing that we take with us every time, this community.
And for sure a 5-star experience, because without that, sure, the country's beautiful, but you're missing out on so much of the experience of living somewhere. Like in Cartagena, one of our favorite things to do with our group of friends is you go to the Rosario Islands, you go out on a boat. And if we, didn't have that community, probably wouldn't have done that. We have 2 dogs now.
Oh, surprise! Rest in peace, our little nugget, our dopey.
He passed away.
We took him to so many continents, so many places, and he just lived his best life. Yeah. And then we thought, after that, no more dogs. We're not going to do it. We moved to Colombia, and I don't know, within 6 months, we ended up with 1 dog while we were on vacation in Panama. Like, this dog followed us around everywhere, and I couldn't not take him home. So we brought him back from Cartagena to Panama. They flew him
back from Panama to Cartagena.
Thank you. Yeah. Yep. See, this guy. Yeah. And as soon, a couple days after, we named him Tocineta, Bacon. After Tosi landed in Cartagena, another dog ended up in our apartment building.
Yeah, he was dying.
I'm butchering the story.
He was emaciated. He had a broken hip and leg, just bones. He was just laying outside of our apartment building, just literally dying. And so I took him to the vet to get him help. And I said, yep, I'll pay, I'll fix him up, and then I'll get him adopted. And the vet said, great. The vet fixed him up and then said, he's about 9 years old. Who adopts a 9-year-old street dog besides me, besides us? So that's our second dog, Chicharron.
So now we have 2 dogs.
Which is fried pork belly.
And bacon. All right, let's see what the next question is.
Name a belief or habit you had 10 years ago that travel quietly murdered. Something you didn't set out to change, but it just did.
That is a really solid question.
I was just thinking about this last night, actually. I think 10 years ago, I would have given up my U.S. passport 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If that meant it would have allowed me to keep traveling. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but I wasn't a patriot. I would have given it up. And I think now, traveling for so long and living in, we lived in New Zealand, we lived in Vietnam, we lived in Morocco, now we live in Colombia, 4 different continents, 4 different countries. As amazing as it is, and the community, I've definitely learned, I'll never be Vietnamese, I'll never be Moroccan, I'll never be Colombian, and though I'm incredibly grateful to be taken in by these communities in these different countries and to be a migrant, I am also, I think, proud of being an American and where I'm from and having the passport and the privilege that I do. Yeah, so I think that is something for me that has changed, if that makes sense.
It does, and that's huge to hear you say that. And it's a complicated emotion right now to be American. Well, we think it's complicated, just politically and beliefs and just seeing it from a distance for the last decade has been complicated as well. And feeling like not having to represent as we move around the world, but people have questions of us about the culture and country we come from.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that answer, but I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. That's really beautiful. How do I top that? We have grown up tremendously over the last 10 years. I mean, everybody does in their 20s and 30s, but we had to do that without the foundation of our family, the foundation of like maybe one place. We had to do that without like solidity in some areas. Like there was just so many ups and downs in the last 10 years. And what am I trying to say? I think the belief when we left was not that I thought that it was going to be easy, but I wouldn't have fathomed the amount of personal and relationship growth that we would have to go through. And that we would have to go through and figure out and communicate and conquer, with so many changing factors and so much chaos around us, was very different. And I think when I left, the belief was a lot of external things would affect, our growth and change. And now I think the shift has become the solidity and strength of us is actually really internal. A friend said to me, like, you are the tree, right? You and your partner are the tree, you are the roots. Everything outside of you is great. It's the leaves, it's the branches, but like you always come back to your center. That's you and your partner. Everything, even your dogs outside of it, like you have to find that energy from within. And I feel like that's been a big belief growth and shift. And when I come back to that, you and I just kick ass. Nothing matters. We can conquer anything. We can get through robbery, sickness, we can get through being broke, we can get through how do we get a visa, whatever it is. Like there's this internal core that I hadn't really recognized or believed.
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
It does. I think as well, like, we were 26 when we got married.
Which is quite young. We didn't realize it in the moment. That's quite young.
And I think most people probably, when they get married for the first time, they're like, oh, my marriage isn't going to be...
Did you say for the first time? Are we going to have multiple... We technically have been married 3 times, y'all. Say something beautiful. What are we gonna call it?
I think when most people get married for the first time, not saying they're gonna get married again, but you think marriage is gonna be easy. My marriage is gonna be different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Marriage is tough, and so we've had our marriage is great. Our marriage is strong, but we've had a lot of growth there that I think 10 years ago we wouldn't have thought that marriage would be tough, and we'd have challenges to face because we were married for the first time. We didn't have experience. So if you get married for a second time, then like, all right, I'm it's almost like there's phases to marriage, and some people choose to not have the next phase of marriage with the same person. Yeah, we said we're taking all the phases. Yeah. All right. If your 10 years ago selves could see a photo of you right now, what's the first thing they'd ask? And would you even be able to explain the answer? I mean, for me, 10 years ago, I fell in love with Betty Chata, and I didn't want to leave. And you were like, no, come on. We've been here for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like, let's go. We've just started our year-long trip. And I was like, all right, that's fair. So I think for me, my 10-year-ago self would be like, holy shit, man, you're there? How did you do it? Have you been there this whole time? Yeah. And okay, if not, then why did it take so long? And if I would have known what I know now 10 years ago, like, you will end up in Betty Chata, but you have to go live in 3 other countries and continents first and travel to all these different places first and have all these experiences first. Yeah, I think my mind would have exploded a little bit.
We talk about this often. We talk about if Tom and Rose now would have, could float to 10 years ago, Tom and Rose, and try and explain the journeys that we've had, how it would kind of ruin it. Like, there is no way to quite explain how we got here without messing up the journey to get here, if that makes any sense. Like, if I would have said, hey, you're gonna have, multiple jobs and careers, you're gonna, get sick, you're gonna, go through, your dad's gonna get cancer, you're gonna get sober, you're gonna live in all these places, you're gonna get robbed. I don't know, like, I know I'm picking out the bad things in that analogy, which is really funny. You're gonna publish a book, all these things. They just kind of happen, and there's a beauty in not knowing how you get there that we've, I think, embraced more so than we would have in the past. There was a lot of planning. Now there's less planning far out, and there's more embracing where we are now and just excitement for who knows where we'll be in 5 years. Who knows where we'll be in 10 years. I think that's piggybacking off yours. I think Rose would just be so excited about this background. She'd be like, oh my gosh, you live in nature? Tell me where.
I'd also tell my 10-year-ago self, like, 5 stocks to buy. that have just exploded in the last 10 years.
Oh, there you go. That's hilarious.
Make some money.
Okay, knowing everything you know now, if you had to pick just one country, from the last decade to do it all over again from scratch, which one and what's the very first thing you do differently?
As far as do one country differently?
I guess so. Peru is my answer. Not that I actually want to relive my time in Peru.
But we would do it differently.
Yeah. Peru
Assumingly knowing what we know now.
Yeah. Roughest journey of the last 10 years, I think. We were traveling by bus all through South America, mainly because of budget, and we wanted to see as much as possible. We had just spent 6 weeks in Colombia, loved it, super safe, amazing, and as soon as we crossed the border into Peru, I don't know what the universe had planned for us, but within the first 48 hours, we were robbed at gunpoint.
Within the first 12 hours.
Excuse me, I hyperbolize. Yeah. We got robbed at gunpoint. We stayed 6 weeks in the country of Peru. We got the sickest we've ever been. Twice. Just had a rough time connecting with the community and the culture because naturally after getting robbed we were just wall was up. We did Machu Picchu with our friends, but we didn't take a tour guide, so I think we missed out on a lot of the rich culture and history. I don't know, I think I would be interested to go back and redo it, not to revisit now with the same history, but to redo it. I would skip Mancora.
No, Mancora was awesome. We would have stayed out of the wicker.
Yeah, I mean Mancora was awesome for the community.
Yeah. What's your other one?
I would stay longer in New Zealand.
Okay, yeah, that was my answer. I think I would, like everything we did in New Zealand, I wouldn't change. I would just want to add to it. It would have been nice to stay a little bit longer, especially knowing that after our wedding we were going to move to Southeast Asia. We could have saved, a couple months. We could have spent at least a couple more months in New Zealand and done more nature things, done more of the great walks, and just seen a little bit more of the country. It's so beautiful. I said this 5 years ago, but it's also so far away. So I know we'll end up back there at some point, but it's a journey. So do that one again, I guess. Stay a little bit longer, do some more activities. Yeah.
Okay, what is one thing that surprised you about where we are now?
I was really excited to move to Cartagena. We first visited Cartagena with our friend Dylan 11 years ago.
Shout out, Dylan!
I thought it was really fun, and when I found the job in Cartagena, I was super excited. I hated the job, and I think that rolled over into just the personal life of Cartagena. So I did not enjoy the last 2 years in Cartagena. There are very few places that I would say I'm good. I don't ever need to return, and for me, Cartagena, I don't ever need to return to.
Yeah.
So that was surprising.
It was just a rough chapter, and I think that's also part of the difference between traveling versus this is our life. Is, hey, this is the job that I've committed to, I'm here. Versus, when you're a backpacker, it's quite transient. It's like, well, I'm unhappy, I'm out.
Yeah. If you're watching the video and you've never been to Cartagena, it's worth going to. It is pretty. Just don't move there. Just don't live there. Or if you do, make sure you really like the job first.
Or you have really amazing friends. I mean, I loved Cartagena. I had a great experience. But that's also because our community was amazing. And we made amazing friends that, within 3 minutes walk, I could be at their place. What surprises me is our move to Barichara. I think I had some reservation about, okay, we're the outsiders, again, that, going to have to be vulnerable to make friends. And, immediately, we've only been here, 10 days. We have people inviting us to barbecues and come sit and watch the, Colombia FIFA match with us. It's just, I think that surprise is we've landed in the artistic space again, and we're so happy to be here.
And so much more English now in Barichara than there was 10 years ago, which is an internal struggle because we're trying to become fluent in Spanish. But everyone we know, even our Colombian friends, everyone speaks English. Which is great, but also it's like we're going to have to work even harder.
So this is the commitment here, handshake on screen. By the time we do the next 5-year video, we are freaking speaking Spanish, the whole video.
We'll see. Well, so we've talked about Colombia. We haven't talked about Morocco much. We were there for 2 years. So favorite thing? What's something that surprised you about Morocco? Could be the country, could be the culture, could be location, anything. Yeah, we'll just start with those two.
Favorite and surprised?
Favorite and surprised.
Favorite and surprised. Morocco was a tough chapter for me. And my favorite thing about the time there, besides our friends and writing, would be we lucked out and got an amazing penthouse place that when the call to prayer went off 5 times a day. And I actually found it quite cathartic and beautiful. 5 times a day, I was kind of reminded to, like, if nothing else, like, oh, take a deep breath. So that for me was such a beautiful awakening of being present, and kind of was like a snowball to how else do I want to be present, getting sober, being, around great people. So like that turned out to be a really beautiful surprise when everything else was really, really hard in my life, in our chapter. I think the surprise would have been that it was a difficult chapter. Like I felt pretty resilient in every place that we've moved to, and I was not expecting for Morocco to Morocco my world.
Hey-o!
And I think for anyone, please travel to Morocco. It's beautiful. The people, the culture. We have friends that have been there, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years. The food is amazing.
Yeah.
I think, again, just wrong place, wrong time, difficult chapter personally in my life. And it was different for me as a woman than you as a man.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, what about you?
You loved Cartagena. I did not.
Yeah.
I loved Morocco. You did not.
Yeah.
I loved Morocco. I thought my favorite thing about it was probably just the travel. Like Morocco, very much like Colombia, it's incredibly diverse. So if you're going south to Essaouira, or you're going north to Chefchaouen or Tangier, or you're going to Marrakesh, or you're going to the desert, like it's very diverse. I loved traveling in Morocco. We did a lot of road trips.
Yeah.
I loved how close it was to Europe. I traveled to Europe so many times.
How many times did you go to Spain?
So here's Tarifa, Spain, the most southern point of Europe, the very bottom of Spain. And here's Tangier, which is the north of Morocco. It's only 8 miles. So you could take a high-speed train from Casablanca to Tangier and then take a ferry. So you could be in Spain in 4 hours. Me and some of my friends would do that like at least once a month. So just traveling to Europe, we did that pretty extensively, traveling within Morocco. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. Something that surprised me, maybe the treatment of animals. I thought after leaving Vietnam, where, they eat dogs and poison dogs and cats, and it can be brutal. I thought we had escaped that, but in Morocco, that's the treatment of stray dogs and cats is not great. They don't take care of them. They abuse them. They kill them. And that's hard for me as a dog lover. That was really surprising. What else? 10 years.
Really
Okay, 10 years. We've been to 35 countries, not including the countries we've traveled before we left 10 years ago.
From July 1st, 2016 until now, 35 countries, yeah.
Is there a country that you've seen it once and you're good? Is there a country that you absolutely want to return to that we have been? And what country do you still want to go to that we have not been to in the last 10 years?
I love the ABC packaged question.
All right, so number 1, country you've been to once and you're good. You don't need to return. Not talking bad about the country, just we're good.
Yeah. This one I can't really answer because we hold different beliefs, and Thomas loves to return to places that we've been to. I'm I've been there, I love it, I'm not going to return to a place. So I most places that we've been to, I feel pretty good about, and I don't need to return to, so I don't have a good one.
Okay, Rose, you can never, ever, regardless of if Thomas wants to go, it doesn't matter. You are not allowed to go back to this country, ever, for the rest of your life. What's the one country you would tell this person? This person who's asking you this question that has all this power.
I almost said Peru.
Ooh.
Or Laos.
Okay.
See, but now I feel bad answering. Okay.
I'd say Singapore.
Sure.
Like, Singapore's cool, but it's really small. It's expensive. You can see the entire itty-bitty country in a day. We've seen it. We've done it. We saw the sights. I'm good.
Yeah. What's a place I would return to?
Yeah.
Oh,
that we've been in the last 10 years.
Okay. See, and so that's the flip side. I normally would say, hey, I'd rather spend our money going somewhere new. But
your next trip, Rose, before you can go to another new country, you have to return.
It's always Japan.
To one of the countries. Japan.
It's always Japan. Always Japan. There's so much more that we did not get to see in Japan. It's always Japan.
Yeah, I mean, Japan is... Japan. Yeah, I'll stick with Japan, too. It's true. I'd also happily go back to Vietnam before I could travel to another new country.
I love Vietnam. Yeah, we'll return one day, but... I mean, we spent 4 years in Vietnam versus 10 days in Japan.
All right, we did question 1, question 2. Now let's do question C.
Question C. 1, 2, C. You're adorable.
What's one country that we've not been to in the last 10 years that you've wanted to go to? We just haven't made it there for some reason.
Oh my gosh, you know what's cool is like I don't have one that pops to mind. We've done so much. We went to Egypt. We went to Egypt with our friends. We've seen the pyramids.
Yeah.
Went to Tunisia. I didn't even know Tunisia was a place. On our original itinerary for 10 years ago, we put Mozambique, Madagascar, and Zimbabwe, which are quite abstract for when you look at the route we were trying to take. We have not made it to those places. But now that I say it out loud, yeah, perhaps getting to go to parts of southern Africa would have been really exciting and interesting. I guess I'm surprised we haven't been to Argentina for like popularity in South America.
Or Brazil even. For me, I think I've wanted to go to this country, maybe not for the entire 10 years, but at least
Can I
the
guess
last
it?
5.
Is it Papua New Guinea?
No.
Oh.
That would have been my answer 5 years ago when we did this question. Bhutan.
Dang it, it was
Bhutan.
in there. Bhutan.
I'd really love to go to Bhutan. But I definitely want to do Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan,
The stands.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah,
Not all the stands. Looks incredible.
Yeah.
Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. Wow.
we'll get there.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Looks
check it out.
gorgeous. You can
Just-
get a
okay.
cheap flight to Turkey, Ankara, and then from Ankara you can get a cheap flight to any of those 3 countries if you want to go.
What do you want to tell future Thomas?
5 year from now self. All right.
Yeah.
I hope 5 years from now, me, when you're watching this, you have made it to the stands. I'd love to do that travel in the next 5 years. I'm sure within 5 years, Chicharoni right here probably won't be with us. What dogs do you have now?
Plural. Did you notice plural? That's adorable.
Pivoting to a new career, getting out of teaching. I hope myself in 5 years has found success in that, and I'm still doing that. And if not, then I hope I have found a new career that is making me happy and fulfilling me. I hope our marriage is still super strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully within 5 years we own a house somewhere in Barichara. And also maybe Colorado.
Maybe. Yeah.
Owning a house though, for
Yeah.
sure, somewhere.
Yeah. We'd
Yeah.
like to have roots.
Yeah.
It's a weird
Yeah,
concept.
moving is exhausting. I'm not tired of traveling. I'm just tired of moving all the time. So, like, even if that means we own a house outside of America and just having roots somewhere, yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that is quite a lesson. Is like, especially some of the most beautiful places in the world are really hard to get to. It's not easy to get to Barichara.
No.
You know, time, energy. I think future Rose, I don't know if there's any predictions or anything I want to say to you other than I hope that you just experience as much as possible. You allow yourself to enjoy and not get so caught up in work. Yes, that crazy word that seemed to define both of us in Cartagena. I hope that you remember that you're capable of absolutely anything. Your writing just continues to get better and better. Your connection and community. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy being able to speak Spanish and make friends. I think with that, thank you all for tuning in for this extremely long video. Cheers. We wish you happy travels, and
Cheers.
you can find us on scratchmypacktravel.com sometimes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, happy travels.
To 5 more years.
Woo!
Or 10. To many more years.
This guy. Two more passports. How about that?
20 more years. Sick.
Sick.